Okay, in this video, we're going to talk a bit more about failures that turn success. So Steve Jobs was adopted when he was a kid, and he founded, as we all know, Apple, of which he was fired at some point. And as he ventured out of Apple, he founded a company called Next that was later on purchased by Apple when at the time when Apple was struggling financially and near to bankruptcy. As he came back to Apple, he was made CEO, and that's when he launched the Think Different campaign, and I'm going to incorporate in the next video that video because you need to see it. It's really amazing, it's inspiring. And that Think Different campaign basically brought to the world, a new set of tools and even a new set of, a new way of how we would look at computers. So Steve Jobs, had, founded Apple and got fired from his own companies, but he never gave up. He came back as the CEO and transformed Apple to become what is today one of the most powerful, company in the world. Jack Ma is another interesting case. Jack Ma is the founder of Alibaba, and he says it himself. When he was younger, he basically tried to apply for jobs at Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, and he got refused. Harvard University also, apparently, according to him, refused him several times, but he never gave up, and he came to the US, saw the whole technological, innovation ongoing, and he went back to China with this idea of Alibaba. And when he told this to his friends, everyone said, he was crazy. But turned out that he got investors believing in his idea, and Alibaba took off, and he became the richest man in China, a billionaire. So Jack Ma is an amazing success story also, but which started, on some failures, not being hired by KFC and, rejected from Harvard and so on, but he never gave up, he persevered. So Martin Kempf, that's a very interesting story, and you might not know her, but I want to incorporate this story, and I want to thank, my friend Bernard Kress, a serial entrepreneur and, innovator at Google Glass, now Microsoft HoloLens, who shared with me this amazing story of Martin Kempf. Martin Kempf comes from, the same region as me in France. And she, in the 1985, she invented a solution called Calavox. Calavox is a voice recognition system solution, and Martin Kempf is a computer scientist that I believe developed herself on her own, so an autodidact, where she trained herself on her own time and created that solution Calavox, which has been used widely in handicap chairs. And it was a major success, but it didn't start that easy. As she was launching this in the early stage, she was in France trying to get funding, and she explained that all the doors were closing, banks were not giving her any financing, or the government didn't believe in the project, didn't give any grants, and so on. And she was really disappointed, and she really believed in her idea, and she never gave up. She failed obtaining that financing in France, but her perseverance and her motivation basically made her send, so listen to this, it's pretty amazing. She knew that the President Ronald Reagan of the time of the United States basically liked, his kids liked, electric trains. So she put her Calavox solution, or the voice recognition system, on the little train, boxed it all up, sent it to the White House, saying, I know you like, I'm not sure if she said this, but that's the story, where she sent the train to President Ronald Reagan. He opened it, tested it, and then when he saw this, she got immediately a green card, as the story says, and she went then to California, where she claims she opened a company with $5 in 5 minutes, and her solution just boomed, become widely used in handicap chairs around the world. Martin Kempf is really a successful entrepreneur who persevered to make her idea come to reality, and that's the key. Failure is going to happen, but you need to overcome these challenges and never give up. YouTube, let's talk about YouTube, Groupon, and Bugatti. That's also a very interesting story. So YouTube didn't start as YouTube. YouTube initially was a dating site. So you would be, filming yourself, explaining who you are, who you're looking for, and as the story says, the people starting, visiting YouTube of the time to make fun of the people that would do those videos. So they soon realized this, and I said, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't do a dating site. Maybe we should do a video, a platform where we share funny videos. People seem to like going there to have fun. So they pivoted the model. They got rid of the dating aspect of YouTube, and now you have YouTube, one of the number one streaming platform for videos online. So an amazing success story here, but also based on a failure. Groupon is a similar story, where Groupon started in the sphere of politics. I don't exactly know the details what they were doing in politics, but they were not getting a lot of traffic, the story says. So they needed to find a way to bring traffic to their website of the time. So one of the team decided, okay, let's add coupons. If we give coupons and things for free for people, they're gonna come on our site. Well, it was a hit. It worked. People came to the site, and it worked so well that they even thought, you know what? Why do we even do the political thing? Why don't we just give away coupons? And then Groupon became Groupon. So a huge hit there too. And then finally, and also a story from my own region. So I come from Alsace, France, and there's a city called Molsheim, where the company Bugatti, you probably know Bugatti, the nice cars, founded in 1909 by Ettore Bugatti, and then took on by his son, Jean Bugatti. Bugatti was founded initially and was creating cars, back then in 1909, with really good designs already. And but it went through difficulties, financial difficulties. The initial founders and the son, after their death, there were no successors to be able to take over this. So the companies was not doing necessarily very well. So, see this as a failure in the lifetime of that company. But then a successor came in 1990 and came up with the idea of building, exclusive luxury cars. And that's when the first, Bugatti that in the design, similar to what you're seeing on the picture right here, came to exist. So what was funny about this is, in this little village, if you go there, of Molsheim, not many inhabitants, you have this company called Bugatti, who basically releases this amazing car that the world looks at. So in this little village, when they released the car, you had people like George Clooney and stars that came. Brad Pitt, I think, also came there. So you had stars coming in that little village. It created an immense buzz. And today Bugatti is, and it depends on the taste, but for me, I would say Bugatti is probably one of the nicest, if not the nicest car that exists in this world. So this is really important to say, in business, nothing goes perfect. Like in life, like in your career, there's going to be failures. But like Warren Buffett says it also. So he said, in his early days of investing, he made mistakes. But it's those mistakes that basically gave him today the knowledge that he's applying to be successful. So that's really key. And to finalize here, I'm going to finish with a quote from Elon Musk, where he says, if you don't fail, you are not innovating hard enough. So don't be ashamed of failing, move fast, break things, make it happen. Hope you enjoyed those few stories there.